Hello friends, Ben here for Giant Loop, and today I'm going to walk you through the process of installing or attaching the Giant Loop Great Basin Saddlebag on any motorcycle, but today in particular, this Honda CRF 300L Rally. So the nice thing about the Great Basin bag here is that it will attach to just about any motorcycle. I just saw a review and actually posted it on the Giant Loop blog of a guy using it on a cruiser. So it's an incredibly versatile piece of luggage, no racks required. And I'm actually going camping tomorrow night. And so this is the first time I've ever actually installed this bag on this bike. So I thought I would bring you along to kind of show you the process, one, how to install it, but two, I kind of want to show you that there's a little trial and error involved because every bike is just a little different. And so instead of just like practicing and then showing you like the expert version of what it looks like to put this on, I'm just going to walk you through the whole process as I kind of figure out what works best for this bike, because that's what you'll have to do for your bike. That's the realistic answer. So to install the Giant Loop Great Basin Saddlebag on a motorcycle, you need a couple things. One, a motorcycle. Two, a Giant Loop Great Basin Saddlebag. Other than that, you have everything you need. Everything comes with this bag. It's ready to go. Just throw on your bike and go on your trips. Let's get it on the bike. First step is what I've already done, which is just to throw it on the back of the bike, roughly kind of where you want it. And then I like to work from the back forward. So start by attaching the straps on the back. So let's do that. So there's a couple ways actually to attach this bag to the rear of your bike. You can just use the straps that we use to secure the bag that go over the top of the bag, or you can use these extra attachment loops that we give you. Either way works fine. The advantage of not using these is that it's a little bit quicker and easier. The advantage of using them is that your bag stays secured to the bike whether you have it tightened down over the top or not. So if you want to like take stuff out of your bag and then make a run to the store and back without readjusting a bunch of stuff, maybe it's better to use these. If you want to leave it on your bike all the time, maybe it's better to use these. But if you're just trying to get it on and off as quickly as possible, you could skip these entirely. So actually what I'm going to do today is I have two of the additional straps. I'm going to use those here, and then I'm just going to go with just the strap from the bag in the middle so that you can kind of see how both ways work and see that there's lots of different ways, lots of different combinations of ways to attach this. So this 300L Rally already has a rack, and so you want 3 attachment points, 2 outs to the outside and 1 up the middle. So I've got these little slots here on the back, and I'm just going to run this through that. I'm going to run my strap back through it, and I'm just going to tighten it about where I want it. Now, it's good to get an idea about where you want this thing sitting. So I don't want it touching my exhaust, so I don't want to pull it all the way back, but I want it as far back as possible. So you can see this is sort of resting right on the edge of the heat shield. I'm going to do it right there. So that's about the length that I want. So I'm going to bring this back through the buckle. And then what's nice about these is it's actually triple. So I just come back through it on the other side, and then this will be secure and tight. These buckles are actually separate, as you can see, from the buckles that come up over the top. So once that's done, I mean, I'll find a place to put this strap when I'm finished, but that's pretty good. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Just going to come over through the thing, down through the slot on the rack, and then up and through, and then I'm just going to make sure this is positioned where I want it. To do that, when you're doing the back, you want to pull it forward to take the slack out, because that's what's going to happen when you put the front straps on. The other thing is just make sure it's about the same length. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm just going to come back through and secure that, just like that. And that quickly and easily, this bag is secured to the back of the bike. Now with this third strap, it's going to be a little off kilter just because I don't have a middle exact location for this on this particular rack, but I'm just going to come down through the rack here and out the back of the rack. And then when it comes time to secure this bag down, I'm going to push this retainer loop all the way up first so it's easier to get to later. See how with it under there, it holds the bag down, and it will once I buckle it to the top. So you can either do 3 of these, like I said. You could also just do 3 of these or some combination, which I've done here, because that's the setup I have on this bike. All right, next up, the front strap. So the biggest difference between the Great Basin and the Coyote is that the Great Basin sits a little bit more vertical on the bike, and the Coyote sits at more of a 45-degree angle. So ideally, the strap that you want to find is not all the way up here. You're not pulling it forward, you want to pull it down. So this loop here on the exhaust hanger, right on the passenger foot peg on the 300L Rally, is almost a perfect spot for this. So that's what I'm going to use, I think. I'm going to get this up in the front. So I'm just going to come through it. Just be careful you don't twist anything. And also, just if you're getting this close to the exhaust, You can see I'm touching it, but it's because I haven't been riding this bike for hours. You wouldn't want to do this right after a ride. Just be careful with the exhaust. And also, you don't want this strap any closer to your exhaust than that. So it is a good ½ inch away. It's not touching it. People always ask about exhaust. I actually made a whole video about managing the exhaust heat, but as long as it's not like in close, like ½ inch or closer proximity and or in direct contact with the exhaust, in general, you're fine. So just put the strap up through the buckle. You guys know how these buckles work. It's not rocket science. Back down through the buckle, and then you're gonna pull it tight. And remember, with those rear straps already tightened, I can tighten this down now because I wanna get them as tight as possible. Okay, and then I just made sure that my elastic keeper is on the front so that when I get this all fully adjusted, I'll just double up this strap, put it in there, and it'll be good to go, okay? I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. I lied, I'm not gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. Why? Because I don't have that convenient little hooky loop thing right here. So instead, I'm just gonna go behind this frame rail right here, this bar coming down from the subframe. The important thing to remember when you're gonna go to one of these rails is exhaust doesn't matter as much on this side, but you wanna go behind first and then come back to the front, otherwise your own strap is gonna be in your way. And the other thing to look for is there a stopping point? You don't want these to slide up and down a lot. So there's a couple bolts on the back side here that's gonna keep this from moving. I'm not gonna come down super low because then it's gonna be pulling on the foot peg. But if I put it right here, that's the other thing, is mess with your rear foot peg. Make sure it's not gonna be in your way. You just don't want things moving around, or you don't want sharp edges on your straps. I mean, this is, again, not rocket science, it's luggage science. I've already got this twisted. Okay, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Make sure your strap isn't twisted. I've only done this 1,000 times and I still get it twisted. You know, it happens to the best of us. Through. I'm gonna put my elastic keeper back on. I just pulled it off to make it go through there easier, but don't lose these, man. They're very convenient to have in the convenient places. That's through. I'm gonna go to the buckle. Same as before. It's not really rubbing on this toolbox, I don't think. I can get the rear strap behind it. No, actually no, just like that. Okay, that's actually gonna be just great, okay? Through here. And I'll tighten it as much as I think I need to at the moment. And now I'm going to, as the kids say, do a fit check. So you can see, and it's empty. This bag is obviously gonna be a little less wobbly when it's full, but if you just work with the base, right, you can see how tight it is. And once you get it full, you're gonna adjust stuff again too. I'm just making sure it's not on the exhaust, it isn't, making sure these straps are tight, making sure the bag is more or less centered on the bike. It is. This looks good to me. I might make minor adjustments after I fill it, but I think that's gonna work great. I'm just gonna deal with the extra straps by using the strap keepers that we already provide for you. So I'm just gonna double this over. We get a lot of questions about how to deal with the straps, to be honest. So I'm just doubling it over a couple times, making sure it's nice and tight, and then I'm gonna put it just like that. Now, if that moves or my leg is rubbing on it or whatever, I'll move that up and down. I'll adjust it as I go, but that's gonna keep it out of the wheel, keep it out of the way. You can also cut this strap off. I just don't like to because I use it on so many different bikes. I like to have the option because I never know when I'm gonna need extra straps, so I just fold them up like that. And that's it. I mean, this is obviously specific to this 300L Rally, but they go in the same places on every bike. And if you don't have a rack on the rear, you can run the rear straps underneath or just find some other attachment point or use our giant loop tail rack, which works with any motorcycle. I actually made a video before where I went through packing this bag and how much gear I could get in this bag. So I'll link that for you up here. And then I'm going to be filming a video next where I use the included dry pods that come with this to make packing and unpacking this bag incredibly quick and easy. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that one. It's gonna be out soon. If you have any questions about the Great Basin or installing the Great Basin, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And do not forget that our Great Basin, like all of our products, is backed by our lifetime warranty, and that all orders over $75 from giantloopmoto.com ship for free. Make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. We send out 20-30% off codes in that newsletter, and only people on the newsletter are getting the deals right now, so make sure that you're signed up for that so you don't miss out on that, product announcements, other great stuff, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel for product announcements and other cool content just like this. If you're a YouTube subscriber, you get 10% off at giantloopmoto.com with promo code subscriber. Thank you for watching. Go light, go fast, go far with Giant Loop.